Dark Souls 3, the final in the Dark Souls series. It has been announced very recently at E3 that Dark Souls 3 is in production, and in fact, it's on its way to being made. We have a release date, which is early 2016, probably March based on the previous releases, and I am both excited and horrified by this news. I'd like to talk to you today about what we've seen, what I think about it, maybe ask you a couple questions, and tell you the good and the bad, basically. And mostly, it's good, but there are a little bit of bad. In case you're thinking that this was announced kind of a little bit too soon, it's been like 3 months after the release of Bloodborne, and they're already announcing the next game. This isn't actually something too new for the Souls-related games. They actually released the information about Bloodborne, I believe it was at E3, around the same period of time after Dark Souls 2, and Bloodborne was an absolutely amazing game, but the problem was it was a little bit short, honestly, compared to the other Souls games, and that's kind of a concern that we've been having, is that they're sort of pushing these games out every year, and they're still great. Somehow they're still great on these like ridiculous like release dates, but the fear is that it's being a little bit mass-produced, like Call of Duty or Halo or something like that. We'll get to that later. And I think that's probably why this might be the last in the Dark Souls series, because maybe they're pushing them out a little bit too much. So, let's talk about the good news straight away. Miyazaki is sort of being someone who's leading it. You know, he's a big part of this game, this part of the series, and he wasn't too involved in Dark Souls 2, as far as I'm aware. I'm pretty damn sure of that. He was involved in Demon Souls, he was involved in Dark Souls 1, he was involved in Bloodborne. He wasn't that involved in Dark Souls 2. Which were the good games again? Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, and Bloodborne. Damn, Dark Souls 2 wasn't that great. Miyazaki wasn't part of it. Do you see the... Can you connect the dots? I'm sure you can. Basically what it means is the story's probably going to be good for Dark Souls 3, and I'm very relieved because Dark Souls 2 was just a big disappointment for me personally in terms of story. And yeah, basically to hear that he's working on it, yes. That's my whole reaction. Yes. So I was really relieved to hear that. And he has actually said some stuff about the whole statement of Dark Souls, the final Dark Souls episode or whatever, final Dark Souls game. He has actually talked about how he wants to do more, but he wants to step in different directions with the company, I guess. Meaning, what I take from that is Bloodborne. You see the Demon Souls, you see Dark Souls, this medieval world and similar storyline, and then you see Bloodborne, and it's just like completely different. Sure, the gameplay's definitely similar for sure, but the story, my god, was something completely different, and the world was just so cool and different. That's what I hope they mean by this. I am scared, man. I am scared to say that it's the final Dark Souls game. One of my favorite game series of all time is ending. I got mixed emotions about it, you know. All things must come to an end, good or bad, and you know, you get scared. This is what I was talking about. When you mass-produce games like this, it is scary because it's like, well, it's not going to be as good. Bloodborne was definitely shorter than the other Souls games, and it came out a year after Dark Souls 2. That was fast. That was scary fast. And Dark Souls 3 is now being announced 3 months after Bloodborne. Scary fast. And it makes you worry that, are they really going to be able to pull this off in time? You know what I mean? You kind of see that they managed to do it with Bloodborne because Miyazaki wasn't involved with Dark Souls 2, and I guess he was working on Bloodborne, right? Which meant that game was brilliant. But are they really going to be able to pull this off in a year? The final game as well? There's a lot of scary emotions for me when it comes to this topic, I guess. But I think it's a good thing. I think I'm sad that it's ending, but I'm happy for the company, and overall I'm going to be happy for myself, because you compare games that have a storyline, they release the games, the storyline finishes, and it's done. And the developers, in fact, the team are like, we did it. That's it. The story finished, book complete, film made, TV series over, whatever. And now we can walk away and go to something new, right? And then they continue to make these games after the story's over, and it gets a little bit fucking bullshit. Now, I'm not talking about Dark Souls anymore. In fact, I'm talking about Bungie. I'm talking about Halo. Halo 1 was wonderful. Halo 2 was fucking the the bomb. It was great. And Halo 3 I really liked. And that was it. Story finished. Game over. Great job, Bungie. They leave, and then a company called 404 starts just making more games. And essentially, what that is we can make more money out of the franchise, but the games overall are pretty fucking bad compared. Look at Call of Duty. I don't need to say anymore, do I? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. You might like Call of Duty. I'm happy for you. I don't. I used to. Then I realized that the company is just mass producing the same thing over and over to make more money. And that is what I was scared for with the Souls series, because it's like, wow, you're really releasing these quick. A little bit scared that quality might drop. And I am kind of happy to see that they're not doing that. You know, they've said, no, this is it. This is the end. We're going to get to the point where we're done here and move to something new. And whether that's completely different, not a Souls-related type of feel game like Bloodborne was, or maybe like that kind of step in a new direction, using that sort of platform to go to new places like this sort of Victorian style and whole new storyline, which was Bloodborne. So scared, but also hopeful. That's how I feel. So when it comes to gameplay of Dark Souls 3, both excited and nervous with the whole thing. This whole video is me going, I'm excited, but I'm scared. So it has been alleviated, these worries, a little bit by a fellow named Ouroboros. I mentioned it earlier, I'm pretty sure. He is currently at E3, it would seem, and he has been invited to a very private sort of presentation thing. He did mention that he's going to be able to play the game, which seems fucking crazy to me. How does it even fucking... Is any of the game made? You know what I mean? But apparently there's enough to show, and apparently enough to play. It's probably a very small area, but the idea is there, right? So he was tweeting, and I can have a quick look at the tweets to show you exactly what it is. Let's have a look. So he was asking on Twitter, I've seen the game played with my own eyes. What questions you have about the game? What would you like to know? So he had a bunch of questions asked to him on Twitter, and what he said is exactly this. Dark Souls 3 looks and feels almost exactly like Dark Souls 1. We're skipping Dark Souls 2 in its gameplay and pretty much everything to do with it, I guess. It's like the bad child of the family or something, isn't it? And he said that it feels like, it's a very similar game, that from the backstabbing, the parrying, and the movement, and the rolling, is looking similar. Good or bad, I would say this is good. The game itself, Dark Souls 1, felt just on point. It felt really good. I really enjoyed the way Bloodborne played, but my problem with that game was it was a little bit hard to do PvP legitimately, and a lot of the Souls fans look at Bloodborne and say, I'm not really feeling it. There's a little bit too much healing and stuff. It feels quick and good, but Dark Souls 1 had like the nicest movement and dodging and just felt the best overall. So it's good to see that they're sort of stepping in that direction once more. How much they're stepping in that direction has yet to be seen, and again, when I play the game at Eurogamer, I'm going to be very happy to talk about that and let you know how I feel about it. I'm looking forward to that. We're 3 months away from when I get to play the game, we hope. I hope. And I'll let you know. But thank you, Ouroboros, for tweeting that. I don't know if you're going to see this video, but I appreciate you putting that information out there. Congratulations on getting to see it, you bastard. I'm very jealous. Very jealous. Oro also did announce that apparently it's going to be on Xbox One, it's going to be on the PlayStation 4, and it's going to be on the PC. Yeah! Fuck yeah! The best version of the game on the best fucking... Yes. So I'm very happy to hear that. Definitely confirmed. No bullshit PlayStation 3 exclusive Demon's Souls. No bullshit PlayStation 4 exclusive Bloodborne. And we are going to get the best of the best game. You know, the best running experience. And we can only hope that we don't pull a bullshit Dark Souls 2 and see a release on consoles and have to wait 3 months before the before the PC version. There we go. I got it out. I am worried that they're going to pull the usual and have us PC people sat on the sidelines just sort of twiddling our thumbs going, I can't wait for that, and people are playing it right now. And I'll tell you what will happen. If that happens. I am going to be forced to buy it on the PlayStation 4 and play it because I have a blind playthrough to make. I have a playthrough of for myself to do, a PvP to do, and I can't wait 3 months. I can't, okay? And I'll probably still buy the PC version because you compare it to like Dark Souls 2, console version was alright. The PC version was, oh yeah, those loading screens, man, there weren't any. You know what I mean? That's what I want, and I really worry that they're going to release the game on PC, you know, a little bit late. Either way, when it comes to the title of this video, the final Dark Souls game, I'm happy that they know it's time to end a thing that should end. And I only hope that they move on to new things in the terms of Bloodborne and those type of changes, rather than completely abandoning those types of games, as they are my favourite style of game, God, in the like last 5 years or so. You know, obviously I love MOBAs and stuff like Dota 2, but damn son, those were some great games, the Souls games, and I hope to see more from Software in the future. It's a company I'm going to follow for the rest of my life, I'm sure, and I hope they're happy and successful in the future. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Do leave a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to be happy to read them, and have a great day, guys. I've been Hollow, you've been you, and I'll see you next time.